In the headlines, 18 presidential candidates signed peace accord ahead of 2023 elections as President Buhari signing with Jonathan contributed to peaceful elections in 2015. One killed, scores of farmers abducted in new attacks as armed bandits imposed 12 million naira levies on farming communities in Kaduna. Lagos government suspends Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria activities statewide. Suicide bomber kills at least 19 in Afghanistan school blast. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. 18 political parties and their presidential candidates have signed the first national peace accord ahead of the 2023 general elections. This means that the political actors have agreed to make the campaigns issues-based. The 2023 first signing of the peace accord was organized by the National Peace Committee, headed by the former military head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar and Bishop Kuka at the International Conference Center in Abuja. Nana Mohammed has the details of this report.
The signing of the peace accord was to commit all political parties, their candidates and spokespersons to peaceful campaigns and rallies.
Campaigns and rallies devoid of violence, incitement and personal insult, but also to define by issues at the very heart of the national development and progress. The second accord, God willing, will come up shortly before the election, and it is intended to commit the candidates to accepting the outcome of the vote as long as it is adjudged to be free, fair, and credible.
The head of delegation of the European Union in a goodwill message said, Nigeria's election is important not only for the country, but for the world at large.
Nigeria has an opportunity to lead, to contribute to reversing the trend of undemocratic change of power.
The chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, highlighted the need to not only sign the peace accord, but to abide by it.
The 2023 general election will be conducted for 1,491 constituencies nationwide, made up of one presidential constituency, 28 governorship elections. In 8 states, the governorship elections are conducted off-cycle, like the last 2 elections conducted in Ekiti and Osun. We have 109 senatorial districts, 360 federal constituencies, and 993 state constituencies.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, cautioned politicians against violating the Electoral Act, maintaining that the law enforcement agencies are ready to provide a level playing ground for all political parties as well as prosecute any offender.
Forgery of electoral documents, disorderly conduct, propagating of falsehood, unlawful possession of firearms and offensive items, impersonation of voters' threat, bribery and inducement of electorates, among others. In relation to
As the campaigns began, expectations are high that Nigerians will elect credible leaders that will address the myriad of problems confronting the country. This prayer from a 14-year-old student to the next Nigerian president captures the mood.
Many people are afraid of the future. We are afraid. I see that over 20 million of my brothers and sisters are currently out of school. We, the children, believe that our environment has been destroyed in trying to satisfy the greed of different generations of Nigerians.
The National Peace Committee is a non-governmental initiative conceived in 2014 in response to emerging threats by the 2015 general elections. The second signing of the peace accord is expected in January 2023. Nana Muhammad, Trust TV News, Abuja.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the signing of the peace accord with former President Goodluck Jonathan and other presidential candidates in the build-up to the 2015 elections contributed largely to the peaceful outcome of the polls. The president met with members of the National Peace Committee led by former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar on Thursday at the State House Abuja after the signing of the first national peace accord by presidential candidates in the 2023 elections. The president expressed the hope that ratifying the accord would commit political parties, aspirants and their supporters to peaceful conduct of their campaigns devoid of ethnic, religious and hate speeches that will mar the upcoming elections. General Abubakar retired, who briefed the president on the activities of the committee, said members had met with various stakeholders, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the heads of security agencies, who had given assurances of their preparedness to conduct the polls credibly.
That credible, free and fair election can only be achieved in a peaceful environment. The signing of the Electoral Act 2021 as amended with landmark provisions underline my resolve for transparent and all-inclusive electoral processes. It is my expectation that all the signatories to the peace accord and their supporters will abide by its content and spirit.
Unfortunately, nothing much can be done except educating our people. Is the issue of vote buying. It's a menace, not only in Nigeria, in most of the developing countries. You can see where vote buying is becoming rampant. So as much as possible, we and the NGOs are trying to tell people, yes, if somebody is giving you money, take the money, but vote by your conscience. Don't sell your vote.
Presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, was in Ibadan on Thursday, where he met behind closed doors with Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. The meeting is in line with his nationwide consultations in pursuit of his presidential ambition. Briefing newsmen shortly after the session, which lasted about 45 minutes, the former Anambra State Governor once again restated his commitment towards addressing all the challenges which had over the years plagued the Nigerian masses. Obi gave assurances that he was committed, prepared and determined to reposition Nigeria on the path to socio-economic recovery and growth.
We want a campaign-based, issue-based election. We want an issue-based election where people will come, candidates, not through spokesperson, not through via anybody, but let the candidates come and show their commitment. As I'm talking to you now, you're putting it on tape, and I've said to Nigerians, trust me, I will start from day one to start showing visible, measurable progress, and I'll be held responsible. We don't want somebody to come and tell us about complain. The job of leader is not to complain or to blame anybody. I don't want to blame anybody for what happened yesterday. We are at the point of hiring a new CEO for the enterprise called Nigeria, and I'm offering myself. And I said, I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to give excuses. My duty is to solve problems. That's the duty of leader. My duty is to show visible, measurable progress. That's what Nigeria wants now.
At least 4 members of the People's Democratic Party's National Working Committee have returned about 122.4 million naira to the party. In separate letters to the PDP, the NWC members said the monies had been paid into their account without their knowledge. The money was said to be part of the over 10 billion realized by the party from nomination fees paid by aspirants. The NWC members who returned the money are the National Vice Chairman Southwest, Olashodi Adobunodo, the Deputy National Chairman South, Taufik Arakwaja, National Vice Chairman South, Chief Dan Obi, and National Women Leader, Professor Stella Ofaote. While Adagudodo, Obi, and Efaote got 28.8 million each, Arakwaja was paid 36 million. In a letter to the PDP leadership notifying PDP Chairman Iyorchia Ayu of returning the money, Obi said he received the credit alert with shock and surprise. Chief Dan Obi said he was shocked and surprised after discovering he had been paid 28.8 million by the PDP. Efaote in her letters claimed that when she inquired about the 28.8 paid to her account, she was told by the office of the PDP National Treasurer that the amount was for house rent for 2 years as NWC members. Now, following the commencement of election campaigns ahead of the 2023 elections, stakeholders are calling on political parties and their candidates to focus on issues affecting citizens. The Center for Transparency Advocacy made the call while addressing journalists in Abuja. Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim was there and now reports.
The executive director of the center, Faith Nwadishi, during the briefing called on politicians to adhere to the guidelines set by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, while also charging citizens to document campaign promises made by the candidates so as to hold them to account.
As we move into the campaign period, we expect that the political atmosphere will be charged. It is imperative, therefore, that political parties make their campaigns issue-based and convince Nigerians to vote for their candidates based on sound proposals of alternative solutions to the issues that are utmost concern to Nigerians. The Center for Transparency Advocacy urges political parties, candidates, and their supporters to operate within the confines of the law and the provisions of the Independent National Electoral Commission's rules and regulations. CTA will be tracking election promises and will be giving an update periodically. In the same vein, we urge citizens and the media to monitor and track campaign promises made by political officers so as to hold them accountable.
She also challenged politicians to put their money where their mouth is by swearing an affidavit to make their campaign promises a legally binding document.
If, for instance, you have come to my village and part of the promises you have put is that you have put, say, the road, I'm going to do this road in my first 100 days of office. And first 100 days of office, I will do you a letter and say, okay, this is what you saw an affidavit that you are going to do. What has happened? What have you not done? And I will take you to court. Because one, you have breached a contract. It was based on that thing that you signed and took to court that I now said, okay, I can give you my vote. Every political party that puts out a manifesto or puts out campaign promises should go to court. When you go to court and sign an affidavit, then I can take you seriously. And I tell you, any political party that does that, go to court, sign an affidavit, I will vote for that political party.
The group, however, charged citizens, political parties, and relevant stakeholders to shun activities capable of inciting the public and causing a breakdown of law and order. Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
Elsewhere, the Birnin-Gwari Emirate Progressive Union says bandits have asked residents in 4 communities in Birnin-Gwari local government area of Kaduna State to pay 12 million before they can access their farms. According to a statement on Thursday by the chairman, Ishaq Kasai, he said the bandits have given the farming communities until September 30th, 2022 as deadline to meet their demand. He said the bandits have increased attack on the communities, adding that the 6 people kidnapped at the farm center on Saturday from Kwaga community were released on Wednesday. After giving the bandits 20 measures of rice, 20 measures of beans, 25 liters of red oil, 25 liters of groundnut oil, and recharge card of 10,000. He said a farmer was killed at Shiwaka community on Tuesday after being tied to a tree, and more than 20 people were kidnapped on Wednesday at different farms in Jangali and Kwaga areas. He, however, called on the government to intervene in the situation to enable farmers access their farmlands without fear of attacks. You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. How rabies killed 3 people in Adamawa State. Details of this story after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update and top stories. 18 presidential candidates signed peace accord ahead of 2023 elections as President Buhari signing with Jonathan contributed to peaceful elections in 2015. One killed, scores of farmers abducted in new attacks as armed bandits imposed 12 million naira levies on farming communities in Kaduna. Moving on, manipulation of ethnicity and religion as well as class has been described as a major setback in the Nigerian political arena. Jimmy Azande, who spoke to a cross-section of Benue residents, reports that identity politics has crippled the growth and development of the nation.
Nigerians are struggling to explore their unity in diversity despite over 60 years of liberation from the British colonial masters. Some residents said politics of ethnicity and religion are among the major factors crippling the polity.
People who fought for the independence of this country didn't bother whether they were Christians, whether they were Muslims, whether they were Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. It was a combination of everybody. We had national leaders from everywhere coming together. At that point, we were seen as Nigerians. It didn't have anything to do with our localities.
Said for Nigeria to have meaningful development, the issues of profiling and class discrimination must be addressed. Otherwise, the country will continue to suffer insecurity and underdevelopment.
So it's when we begin to expand our differences that the gaps begin to widen them more. And as it's widening, those that are yet to born are born into it. So it's going further because it takes a bad thing to spread faster than a good one.
Everybody wants to gain, and everybody wants to make sure that the fight amongst religious backgrounds, ethnicity continues so that this country does not move forward. But I keep telling our people, unless we are ready to stand firm and tell ourselves enough is enough, I honestly believe that we are still one. We are one big nation, and we will move together.
Nigeria's journey as an independent country began on October 1st, 1960.
If we were nationalists and everybody felt carried along in this country, it won't matter where you are from, it will be about your antecedents, your pedigree. But right now, people are bothered about where you come from, because if during your time it's all about your people, then let my own person go there.
So if we are able to see somebody, one, as a human being, created by God, and that person is created not by mistake, all these divisions, these barriers that are threatening our unity will disappear.
I believe if our fathers and our politicians are sincere to themselves, things will go much better when it comes to this issue of ethnicity, religious background, sects, and others. We're one big family. I knew when we started as childhood.
But as a country struggles to move forward, it is important for leaders to understand what it means to be truly independent.
Absence of defense counsels in court has stalled the case challenges on for state government over the alleged sale of more than 58 seized tractors by the State High Court to settle the debt of Dubarum Nigeria Limited. The presiding judge, Justice Bello Shinkafi of the Zamfara State High Court too had adjourned the case to the 24th of October following the absence of the defense counsels. Justice Shinkafi said that the defense counsels had 2 days ago, through the lead counsel Muhammad Suleiman, written to the court seeking adjournment of the case to enable them to appear at the Court of Appeal in Sokoto State. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources was, however, in court in person, as earlier ordered by the State High Court too.
Also was to show cause why the government decided to sell the tractors that were seized in auction seized by this court in execution, to sell them while the case was pending. Fortunately, today the Commissioner for Agriculture has been in court. So we were supposed to investigate today, further investigate the ownership of these tractors. You remember that on the last January 2014, the court went to visit the place outside the court where tractors were loaded into a truck that was bound for Sokoto. And the court ordered the detention of those tractors because they appear to be part of the seized goods. So that today we'll come back to court and the court will investigate and determine whether they are part of the goods that were seized by the court and is being taken away. So it will not be proper for us to continue to talk about delay now. The ruling of a court that they should be heard on the 24th has overtaken that event, no matter how we feel about it. So for now, let's assume that they are excused from today's appearance. Let's see what the next development will be. Whatever is somebody's habit is his habit. If they are trying to avoid this case, 24th of October will surely come. It will surely come, one day at a time, to the 24th of October. So it will surely come.
Elsewhere, 4 cases of rabies have been recorded in Adamawa, out of which 3 are dead, while 1 is receiving medical attention in Michika. Among the 3 victims confirmed dead, 2 were indigenes of Gombe and 1 was from Hong, local government area. Trust TV also recalled that last year, 1 person was reported dead from rabies in Jada local government. Silas Lowell has the details of this report.
With the recent cases of rabies in 4 local government areas out of the 21, stakeholders say there are growing concern for authorities to spread awareness about the dangers of rabies and how it can be stopped in the communities. To curtail the spread of the disease, they charge dogs and cat owners to avail themselves the free vaccination opportunity, which aim at eradicating rabies in their animals.
It's a very, very wonderful day for us in Adamawa State here, and I will call on the beneficiaries to cooperate with all our veterinary doctors in the state, in our various LGS, for us to achieve this World 2022 Rabies Day, so that we can be able to achieve, and all these zoonotic diseases, we make sure that we control it.
Stakeholders said the awareness seeks to educate the public about how rabies can be eradicated in people and domestic animals.
Is to bring awareness or to create awareness on the danger of rabies and to bring the highlights of the development that is happening in regard to eliminating rabies in animals likewise in the human.
The awareness and sensitization campaigns also brought together dogs owners, and they said the free vaccination will go a long way toward limiting dogs bite cases in the state.
It's very important, especially for a dog like this. It has a very serious challenge if it bites somebody. So it's easier for you to come and receive the vaccine, whatever time it takes you. Or, by the way, this one is free.
Cases of rabies these days is becoming so rampant. And people are keeping dogs in their houses. So I want to call on most of the dog owners to please use this opportunity.
Around the world, dogs are the most common animal infected by rabies, with more than 99% of human cases coming from dog bites. From Yola, Silas Lawan, Trust TV News.
The Lagos State government has suspended all activities of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria with immediate effect. The announcement comes a day after factional members of the association clashed in the Iyanaiba and Lagos Island areas of the state. In a statement announcing the suspension on Thursday, the special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, said the move was aimed at fulfilling one of the state government's cardinal objectives under the theme's development agenda. The special advisor said the suspension became necessary to prevent further acts of violence in the state, stressing that men of the Lagos State Police Command will be deployed across the state to enforce the suspension and ensure the safety of lives and property. He said a 35-man caretaker committee headed by Suleiman Raji with Bangoshi Oluseyi as deputy chairman has been constituted to take over activities of the union. Another foreign scene, a suicide bomber attacked an educational institute in the Afghan capital, killing at least 19 people and injuring 27 on Friday. According to police spokesman Khalid Zadran, the blast occurred in the Dashat-e-Barchi neighborhood of the Western Kabul, a predominantly Shia Muslim area home to the minority Hazara community. Videos posted online and photos published by local media showed bloodied victims being carried away from the scene. The victims included high school graduates, both girls and boys, who were taking a practice university entrance exam at the Kach Education Center when the blast went off. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.